Hi guys, that's me, Robbie from EnglishHarmony.com, your friend and your English fluency mentor. And today I'm going to address one comment I received below one of my YouTube videos recently. That person asks a question. How can I improve my English if I hate memorization? I've got to tell you guys that it definitely means that he hates the old school memorization, whereby you write down the English word followed by translation in your native language, and then you literally hammer the two-word combination into your brain by repeating them all over and over again. And to be honest with you guys, I also hate this kind of memorization because it's totally wrong, and he's entirely correct in pointing out that he hates that, and I would imagine everyone does, and that's why vocabulary building is such a big issue for us foreigners, if we only ever follow that old school method, And first of all, let me tell you why that method is ineffective, and even more, not only it's ineffective, but it may actually have a very detrimental effect on your fluency. You see, what happens when you memorize an English word with the corresponding translation in your native language is you create an unnatural collocation. Collocation means two words that go together, and it's unnatural because your native language doesn't have to be associated with any English words. You should learn any new English words only through the English language. You should explain them using other English words, because if you learn an English word followed by your native language word, then whenever you try to use that word, you will involuntarily bring up that associated word in your native language in your mind. So your native language is going to constantly interfere with English in your head, and it will hamper your English fluency. You won't be able to think in English, because what needs to happen for us guys, foreigners, to be able to speak fluently in English is we need to think in English. We have to eliminate any traces of our native languages in our mind, and only then we can become truly fluent English speakers. Basically, that's the first step. You have to stop translating from English into your native language, because by now you definitely have amassed enough English vocabulary to explain everything in other English words and understand almost everything as well. Otherwise, you wouldn't be watching this video, guys, and you wouldn't be reading my blog, because this whole English Harmony project is for those foreigners who already achieved good level of English overall, So first of all, eliminate translation. Secondly, don't learn individual words. I would hate that, and that's why I would imagine that guy hates memorization, because he's been following the old school method for a long time now, and I would imagine he's been learning single individual words, It doesn't have to be happening like that. You need to learn all new vocabulary within context. Learn it with other words, Say, for instance, you encounter a new English word you haven't heard before. Let's say, for instance, the word is particular. It's quite a common word, but it wouldn't be unusual if someone wouldn't have heard that word before, or would have always wondered what it actually means. So, the word particular. So, obviously, the worst thing to do would be to translate that word into your native language and then learn the two-word combination. It's a definite no-no. Please, guys, don't do that. And if you do that, you will definitely come up with the same statement. I hate memorization. How can I improve my English, You don't have to do it this way. Stop right there. First of all, what you need to do is you need to come up with other words that word particular collocates with, meaning goes together with. And the easiest way to do that is just go online, Google up the word particular. And when you hit the space key. Right after that, other words should be popping up, telling you what that word particular normally goes together with in the English language. And obviously Google wouldn't reflect spoken language, but the two spoken and written languages overlap for the most part. So you can take that whatever comes up in Google is okay for using in spoken language as well, you know. So basically do that, come up with some word combinations, and some typical word combinations including the word particular would be in particular, which means specifically or a lot. If you say that you like something in particular, it means that you like something really, really much. You like it a lot, you know. And even this tiny little word in front of particular creates a very valid English word combination, in particular. And it's a very good beginning, to be honest with you guys. You don't even have to come up with 2, 3, or 4 word combinations. It's actually a bad thing more often than not, because if you try to hammer a lot of word combinations into your brain all at once again, it may create unnatural collocations. The 3 or 4 phrases may mix together into your brain, and then whenever you try to recall one of them, bits of other phrases, some other random words might be popping up in your mind. And it's been happening to me a lot in the past, you know, because I used to learn a number of phrases containing the same word, for instance, which is kind of common sense. Well, not common sense, but mainstream, you know. A lot of English students do that because they think that it's only good. The more phrases you learn containing the same word, the better it is, you know. But if you do it all at once again, it may have a very detrimental effect on your fluency. So the best thing to do is just take that one phrase, and in this instance it's in particular, and learn that it means especially, a lot, very much, and then incorporate that phrase in some sentences, in some conversational sentences and phrases. I like swimming in particular because I believe that it works out my whole body instead of doing weights or running. And this is a typical example how you can incorporate the phrase in particular into a live conversation, into a sentence, you know. And that's when memorization stops becoming boring, because you try to incorporate that newly acquired phrase or word or whatever it is into a sentence, and then you come up with similar sentences, and every time you create a new one, you repeat that word, but it's not mechanical repetition. You just don't repeat that one word followed by translation in your native language, say 10 times, and then later on and the next day. It's not just hammering the word into your brain. Once it becomes more entertaining, more interesting and involving, you know, it stops being boring. And that's a very good thing, guys. That's how you eliminate the boredom from your English learning and English improving routines. And basically that's my answer. It doesn't have to be boring. Memorization doesn't have to be boring as far as it's incorporated in creating sentences, learning sample sentences, and practicing with yourself, repeating them, and trying to get your speech going, including the newly acquired words and phrases. Then memorization isn't boring. Believe me, guys. Been there, done that. Okay, thanks for watching, and see you soon again in another video. Bye.